Okay, folks, we're here at TreasureNet, the original treasure hunting website. This is Mark. Okay, and I will show you his YouTube site as well. Okay, he is. Okay, no, on this video, maybe the next one. Oh, there he is. Okay. He sounds like a handler for Rootbrian. He is what I was looking for. Mark from Treasure Hunters, TreasureNet. Okay. Now let's go back to TreasureNet. Well, this is his channel. Go on to the videos. You see TreasureNet Revolution. TreasureNet is anonymous, and he is what looks like to be the anonymous connection to Rootbrian. And here is unstable people fighting causes for the same hate mongers that are doing this mess. She's not identified. I'll try to identify this person later and find out who these are off the forums. And then I will have a good talk to him myself, because this is messed up. Okay? This, for those of you not in the know, the Illuminati has used mentally unstable people all throughout history to use as scapegoats, to fight their battles, to push into fights with ordinary people, so that we are defenseless against them, because you don't want to be punching back to somebody that you know has no clue what's really going on. Okay, so what I find here is I find this Mark from TreasureNet. He says this is his stepdaughter, but I'm wondering if that is true. I'm wondering if he has a household of mentally ill people for the purposes of what's going on. I don't know if that's a relative of his or not. But, okay, and here's the real shocker. This guy's an anonymous member, hangs around Rootbrian all the time. Okay, fine, we got that. So it says a few words from this guy Mark Austin, was surprising close to a handle that really stalked me once using personal information. And it is the personal information that has connected. It was a guy called Austin Beal X10 whatever. He sounded like a government agent. Anyway, it says here his name's Mark Austin. Okay, that connects me to the other guy that trolled me because of Rootbrian. And then I've watched similar things that, you know, and then Rootbrian starts trolling me on Byron Pryor's Facebook channel. And of course, all of a sudden, he's highly intelligent. He's cognitive of a lot of things I didn't expect Rootbrian to be. So, yes, this guy is using Rootbrian as a fall guy, obviously. It's very hard to argue against somebody that's low IQ, as low as that, because of obvious reasons. Because they have no clue what's going on and he's being used. So finding this agent behind Rootbrian. Now, okay, he goes into all this archaeological stuff. Sounds really wild, really cool, until you get to this. Okay, one session that I was unable to rationalize away, believe me, I tried, went like this, letter for letter. He claims that this note was created from a Ouija board. Now, we all know how the Illuminati funds their stalkers. They fund it through, they either fund it through treasures stolen from collectors, or they fund it through people. So there's a made-up story here on this web page to explain how he gets his money, or his treasure thing going here. And then this guy goes on to, those are the actual writings, Night from the Ouija board. I personally watched as letter by letter that was spelled out. We had no idea what Trello was, who Edward Allen was, or if this is getting into a lot of Masonic stuff. Okay, this is getting into a lot of Masonic and Satanic. Okay, right from the get-go. This is Masonic and Satanic. So then he believes the reason we were told to get the book Stone Shelters, as a skeptic I've heard the accepting my own words, is because the book has one chapter on caves that has been refinished to be livable. In 2000, I found underground non-linear shelters mentioned above. Look at this picture, the top image. Stone Shelters, Edward Allen. Okay, now, Houston, we have a problem. These sessions occurred in Texas. In a couple of more sessions, it's spelled letter for letter. I have the originals. Nerve clouds penetrate all waters. His base is blown. Who will be left to fight and kill for food? With plenty of food and water and diarrhea medicine. So he's playing with the survivalists too in here. Of course, that's what these this Illuminati does, is they're playing with the survivalists. They've always have, because that's the people who plan to survive. They're the ones to get duped into the Anonymous and controlled by these guys. Anonymous, they like to get little teens going up against their security guards at the meetings, when all the rich people get together, and then they have these big bunch of cops push around thugs, and that's what they're doing so far. And it's all being brought up as big tests, just like Jonestown, right? Anonymous brings in their crowd to fight the security guards. Each side told that's the enemy and go give her, and then the casualties are acceptable because they're all eugenics. They're all part of the eugenics thing. Okay, so these so if you can, I'll put a link in for this channel. So if you ever see this guy, he is an agent. He's satanic, Masonic, the whole bit. And you know, these guys say, oh yes, and we're going after Scientology. Well, if you read this page, you would see that it's a setup. Okay, they're going after Scientology. Either Scientology does not expose this because they are part of it, or they do not expose this because they simply don't know. Okay, so which is it? I've sent Church of Scientology information on these guys that they could make fun of Anonymous way better, way more powerful, but they don't. And what is the reason? Because it's Hegelian. Both sides are Illuminati, both sides are a cult, and this guy created some kind of church out of treasure hunting. Okay? And where he got his treasure, it's easy for the Illuminati to find treasure, because they've got tons of it. They got all of it. Even they're the ones that can take the time and the money and do expeditions, whereas us, the working guy, we live day to day trying to get a paycheck. So yeah, that treasure did not come from a Ouija board. I believe it probably came from an investment into these trolls. So this I believe is all a cover story, and it's highly Masonic and Satanic. So, is this the guy that manages Rootbrian? And did Rootbrian troll himself to create attention? Now that is the question that I'm trying to ask. Now I know other trolls would jump in, and they have punished other trolls for going after Rootbrian. Because at one point, Von Helton, same thing. They will punish trolls when they go too far because it's not manageable. So they bring in guys like Cancer Man Returns. And they bring in those guys to bring in the party ban, you know, jail for the trolls that cannot be manageable. But to expose these guys forces them to lose containment. So this is this guy's website, and these are the same guys that go out and go after Scientology, believe it or not. They go after Scientology. I'm not saying going after Scientology is a bad thing. But what I am saying is if you're both satanic and you're both trying to just get attention from the innocent public, somebody has to expose both of you. So here you are. This is what it is. Now, that is Mark's page. A few words from Mark. And it's quite amazing because these guys, you know, they promote hatred and all the tricks they use. Well, this guy is connected to the agency because I was attacked with personal things from a guy. When I got into Rootbrian stuff, I was attacked personally. Like, I'm talking personal information only the stalkers would know. Gang stalking me. That they keep a close eye on their victims so that they know your every move. This guy was scared, and he was using private information to intimidate, and he did. So what I did was I allowed myself to listen to him for a little bit when he was helping me with William Weeks. Then I went over and attacked a Toronto site, an official Toronto police site, telling them that their burning of the cars was all fake. I put links up on their sites and did all that. And then all of a sudden somebody was sending porn to my relatives. And then this guy started using relatives' names and sick imagery when he went back, and he was using sick imagery of personal information to attack me, which I thought was at first William Weeks, and I went after a Dev Nullset because a Dev Nullset is anonymous, and he has the same video where it says send porn to the family to intimidate people. So obviously if you start seeing porn go to your family, you start going at a video that a Dev Nullset put on. I'll try to find that video where he admits to sending porno to family members, to intimidate them. And this is what Anonymous does. And this is what this guy did. And it was connected to Rootbrian. I knew that. I knew Rootbrian wasn't doing it. But now I find a guy that's kind of like the head of all these retarded people. And I'm like, oh, yeah, look at this. Big fancy websites. Oh yeah, it makes lots of sense. This is just like Montegraph. This is a troll handler, just like Montegraph. And there will be more to come as I look at this guy. Because I believe he is it. He is the Montegraph of trolls that I have been looking for, that plagued me. And it all makes sense because the Canadian government and their play in this, RCMP, Freemasonry, and the Freemason Canadians have their loyalty, United States has their loyalty, and there's a bit of a fight in between, and they'll use pawns, like try to make me a pawn, use against the states, and these guys will play horrific games, cause deaths, because that is what they want. That's what the Illuminati wants. Okay. So if anybody comes up with how this guy comes about, how he comes up with all these treasures and stuff, is it a way of funding his trolls? Is it a way of funding or keeping an interest to what his message of the anonymous group and their goals? What is this? Okay. Anyway, so it's TreasureNet. Try and get this so it isn't blurry. Anyway, www.treasurenet.com, easy enough to find. This guy interfered with stuff. He's been dropping me links for other anonymous users that this guy has been dropping me links to information about Monograph. He's been dropping me links about Cancer Man Returns. And the reason why I'm mad at them is because they sent porn to my family to teach me a lesson. And that's when I was setting up an expose to figure out it was them. It was an RCMP handler, of course. And that's what I figured it was. And of course that was, and then Monograph, all the information that was dropped on Monograph was dropped on Chang, THIRT13, it was spelled out, Chang 13 spelled out, A. That group was deleted by Monograph. He admits to doing it because this guy, Mark, who dropped the info, was helping me so much that Monograph wanted that channel gone so bad he did not care if it was evidence against what I was doing to Chang 13A or Dead Nelset. He didn't care if it was evidence. He wanted that channel gone so bad because this guy was dropping stuff that I could use. And it's nice for a guy to do that, but I am no NWO. I do not work with the NWO. I do not work well with handlers. And I will burn you if you try to play me. And Mark Austin, I figured out who you were. And you're going to get it for sending stuff to my family. You are going to you're going to feel what it's like. Because I'm going to find you now. There is no doubt about it. Your little cult, your little connections, what this site connects to, who the heck you are, it's going to be figured out. And then somebody's going to be giving me tips because they know that it wasn't me looking up all this information. It's impossible for me because I'm not part of the Illuminati. But this guy obviously looks like he is part of the Illuminati, and he is in the right spot at the right time. And I got you. And about that bet that I'd never find your identity, well, I won. And now you got to paint the Freemason Lodge pink, or you're sponging on a bet, aren't you there, buddy?